Welcome everybody! Welcome to our first ever episode of Oxygen Not Included gameplay playthrough of probably I don't know how many episodes this can go, but again, I've had this game for a while and I have not one single time, not one time have I beaten this game, because it is so fun and it's so addicting, but yet on the other hand it is incredibly hard and it takes a lot of creativity and imagination sometimes to come up with ways of making a particular level that you're on, because each level or each place that you congregate into is always different. Every time you do another playthrough, it's going to be different. It is never the same twice. So, but I mean, you can go through the options and you can go to the same one if you want to when you do another playthrough, but I choose to make it different every time. That way it always keeps everything fresh and brand new, and it never ever gets old. So with that in mind, to give you a little bit of information on what's going on, is basically you are these little guys called duplicants. Duplicants are basically clones that come out of this machine, and you come out of this machine in the middle of basically an asteroid, and from there you have nothing. Basically you've got to mine your way out and collect resources, build things, level up your tech through research. With the new tech you gotta build the tech, you gotta then eventually way down the pipeline somehow build rockets to blast yourself off of the asteroid to do even more research in outer space and come back, and all the while exploring the asteroid that you're in so you can find out the reason why, everything, why are we here, why are we duplicates, where's this machine spitting us out from, what was the purpose of this whole ordeal in the first place. So we've got all these questions and probably many more to answer, and yeah, I mean, this game is so entertaining and so fun. Clay Entertainment has outdone themselves a lot with this game. They're really bunch of imaginative developers and people over there that come up with just the neatest ideas for games, I think. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on to our very first episode of Oxygen Not Included. Here we go. So the first thing we do, go to a new game. You can either pick survival, which makes it really hard, or no sweat, which is supposedly really much easier, but I always go with no sweat because I haven't even mastered that to go on to the next one. Now this part, choose the destination, this is new. Now I guess, wow. Okay. So we're going to start all the way to the left because that's ideal for survival. So we're going to start over there, and then if we actually get really, really good, then we can go all the way over to like this one, where our chances of survival are slim to none, basically. And I don't think, as someone who hasn't even beaten the first one, has much of a reason to go to the really hard one to start with. So we'll start here. Holy cow, like they redid the whole like menu screen going into options. This is so cool. Wow, you see, these guys are so freaking creative. I love it every time. Every single time. These guys are so amazing. Let me turn off my fan here. There we go. That probably makes the audio better without the fan running. Okay, this is the part where we get to choose what applicants, our first three that we want to start with, like our, like the attributes and stuff like that. So, okay, rent known. I want my first three to be, I want there to be a researcher, and then the next two, I think, should be two diggers. What happens if I... Okay, there we go. And then, okay, and here's our... And then you pick what trait they want, but then you gotta look at what their positive and negative attributes to each one of those, especially their stress reactions. So I got 2 vomiters and 1 ugly crier. For my researcher, he's a gourmet. However, they have irritable bowel. Okay. Okay, so the diggers aren't bad, but okay, that one looks fine. And our tunnel's name is going to be called the Radical Tunnel, apparently. So, alright, let's do this. Let's embark. Let's go. What's going to happen? I'm excited. So, as you can see, there's the machine. Okay, alert! I've awoken at the target location, but colonization efforts have already hit a hitch. My printing pod was intended to land on the planet's surface, but became trapped many miles underground instead. Although the conditions are not ideal, it is imperative that I establish a colony here and begin mounting efforts to escape. So that is how our story begins. Now we go ahead and zoom out a little bit to take a look at our surroundings. What we got water over here. So let's go ahead and start digging to our left. Go this way and speed it up a little bit so that way we can get this kind of moving. So as you can see, as we dig along, they mine out certain resources like algae, which is used for creating oxygen in certain machines. Also copper, which is going to be really good for our other machines to make like electrical equipment, wires, generators. Okay, so now that we got that first little little niche kind of put out. Let's look. Whoa, that looks bad. Clean this up a little bit, like that. And you unpause it, and as you see, they'll go through and they'll start building the floors, which not only makes it look better, but it makes it so that their efficiency improves, like running along the ground. It also helps creating barriers, and it just makes life in the colony a lot more better. And as you see over here, this pink stuff, and then you got this green stuff above it, those are different gases. So the first gas is hydrogen, and the gas above that is chlorine. And those are important gases, even though they're not, it's not really important at all, pretty much at the very beginning of your colony and the survival of it, but it will be. And as we progress through the game, you will actually see how and why different gases and stuff like that will become important. So our next thing that I'm going to want to build are these, and these are bathrooms, because yes, our colonists still need to go to the bathroom, and if you do not build these fast enough or soon enough in the game, well, then our colonists will have accidents and they will go to the bathroom wherever they're standing, right on the floor, and you will have to go and clean it up. Otherwise you're also rated on what's called a decor value. So how well it looks, because how well something looks, those attributes affect your little characters here on how happy they are, right? Because you would be unhappy if you were living in a cesspool of your own bodily waste, right? So that kind of makes sense. So we're going to build a ladder right here. The reason why is so we can get down to this supply of water, and we'll dig over so we can let all that water collect into one tank. See? So basically, this is one of those games where you really have to like micromanage a lot of details to keep them happy, to keep them productive, and to do tasks as fast and efficiently as possible. And when the colony is really small and first just starting out like it is right now, that's relatively easy. It's when it becomes really, really big and you got to go from one end of the map all the way to the other end of the map. It takes a lot of pre-planning, and if you have to demo something to rebuild something else, it takes a lot of work and time, and just, I mean, you'll see, we'll probably have to be redoing this colony who knows how many times over, but that's the fun of it. That's really the fun of it. And for you that are watching, I can name each colony member something specific. So if you're watching and you want me to name one of the duplicates your name, I am more than happy to do that. You just need to let me know, and I can do that for you. It's not even a big deal at all. So as you see here, we're going to break that down. Just like so. Okay. Alright, and then we're gonna want to build a pitcher pump, and this is gonna make it basically so that they can get their water, and I'm thinking here will be okay, but we're going to quickly find out if that was a huge mistake. I tend to pause it on and off a lot because it saves. Oh crap. No, 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 no. If I don't get him out from underneath the water, he'll drown and he'll die. And yeah. Okay, we're good. Alright, so we're going to now get all this water off of the floor. So every time they touch water, walk on water, they don't like it. There we go. There we go, see? And now that we have access to water, I can build a hand washing basin. And that will make it so we try not to spread germs throughout our colony, because that's an issue. Because if the germ level gets too high or anything like that, then what can happen is that your duplicates will get sick. And if they become sick, they throw up. You constantly got to clean it up. And it also slows their production way, way down. So it's just, it's just best if, you kind of take control of it at the beginning, before there ever is a problem. Okay, so now we can go to our oxygen. See, all that is all oxygen. The red is where it's unbreathable, and it's purple and blue, and it just works its way down from oxygen saturation. You pretty much want to always try to keep it this color, so they always have, oxygen to breathe. And at the beginning you do, but the more duplicates you have, the faster they burn through it, and you got to remake it. And so before, like you always say, you always want to try to stay on top of it, and before it becomes a problem, you want to create a solution to it. So I'm going to make this, and this will be the beginnings of our power, and then we'll make our research station right there, so we can start researching immediately, which is very important. And then this right here is what makes the oxygen. and it converts algae into oxygen. So if you run out of this algae right here, then you're gonna have to search somewhere on the map where you can go and mine it out. So you can, like I said, you try to stay on top of it, you know, the sooner the better, right? And it's really hard the very first few dozen times that you play this game. It's difficult, but I don't know what it's about it. I don't know if it's because that it is difficult, or it's because you got to try to come up with creative solutions to fixing the problem that makes this game so addicting and makes you want to always come back to it. So after they're done building this down here, which it looks like it is finished, they're gonna hop on and they're just gonna start running on their treadmills to generate power. I'm gonna come in here, highlight these two particular research topics for the duplicate to research at first. So they're gonna come over, and there they go. They start researching right off the bat. Now I picked the first two ones that I did because it has to do with agricultural type stuff. So basically food, right? We gotta create food to keep the duplicates alive because they eat through food. We have up in the corner, right, left hand corner, we currently have 18,500. Okay, now we got another duplicate that wants to join. So let's see, what is all this new stuff? Holy can. Okay, so I don't need another research. How about you? And there's Ellie, just like that. Now we have 4. And I'm going to make them start digging all this out underneath. And basically make all of that. And as you can see, they are sleeping on the floor, which is not good for them. It causes them to have problems like sore back issues, and when that happens, again, it hurts their productivity. They're not as happy, you know. So you want to try and fix that, get around to fixing that problem pretty early in the game as well, to keep all the levels as high as you can. So, and right now what I have them doing is cutting out a little slot underneath the first level, and what I'm going to do is that whole entire strip right there, I'm going to turn it into a what would you call it, like it's basically a place where, like a storage facility, think of it like that. So you build these storage bins like this. So yeah. And by building all these storage bins and stuff, all this stuff that's just lying on the floor, right? It gives the duplicants a place to put it all. So that way, again, if they have a place to put it all, it keeps things tidy and clean. They know where it's at, and their happiness goes up. See how it all kind of works hand in hand with each other. So how's our oxygen doing? See how our oxygen is changing? So let's go ahead and hook this up to the grid. Okay, now that that's done, there you go, see? Now it's making us new, fresh oxygen. Now there's a trade-off, because as it's making oxygen, it's taking power. And because this and those are working, what's the byproduct of electricity and power is heat, right? Now you gotta also moderate the temperature within your quality. Surprise, surprise. Because if it gets too hot, it becomes uncomfortable, or if it becomes too cold, it becomes uncomfortable for your duplicants. And not only is it a comfort thing, but it's also an issue of trying to grow new crops or food, so that way, you know, they can eat. It's that important. So this fixture, where my current thing of the electricity and all that, it's all really temporary until I can establish a new, I guess, a new spot to have, well, what you want to call it, like a new spot to put like a power plant, and then branch our electrical distribution system off of that. So as time goes on, you will start to see how amazingly complicated things can get. Oh yeah, it's really easy right now because there's no other wires crisscrossing everywhere, or gas pipes and liquid pipes and just so much stuff. But like I said, it's a lot of fun. So when it's a lot of fun, then, you know, then it just becomes a creative exercise, you know. So I guess that's why I enjoy it so much. Okay, so our research is done. Oh, no, it's not. They got a little bit more to go. 5 more to go. We're almost done with this little. We are almost done with this little venture down here. Come on guys, come finish it up. Here we go, and done. So, now that's done, all I gotta do is click on one of them, and let's say we want to fill it with, there's a whole bunch of stuff to fill, but we're just gonna go all, and then start looking, because there are certain things that I want to keep separate. Organic, algae, okay. So the things that I don't want in them haven't been made yet, and then so I don't have to go to each one at a time. I just select copy all settings, and I drag and highlight all of them, and boom, there you go. And now they will pick up the stuff that's on the floor like they're doing right now and put it in the storage bin. Keep everything clean. Okay, so we finished that research. Now we can go back, and I'm gonna have them. There's lumber in the game now? There's wood in the game now? Cool. Very cool. So you can see the tech tree. A lot of fun stuff to develop, and I'm sure it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on, more updates come out, you know how it goes. So one of the next things that I'll probably want to do is either A, go through and start building like bed, cots, stuff like that, or in my case, what I'm gonna actually do is start the agriculture part. Okay guys, so what I have noticed is that we've run into already a half an hour worth of gameplay. So what I want to do is I want to stop. I'm gonna stop and save it right exactly where we left it, and save it there, so that way I give you kind of a little introduction, a small taste of what yet is to come, and stuff like that. So I really hope that you all enjoyed this episode of Oxygen Not Included, our very first one, and there are many more to come, and I hope that you all really liked it. If you did, please let me know by hitting the like button. If you're new, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to let you know when I upload the next video. And yeah, if you have any comments or anything like that in regards to the game or what's going on, anything, always please let me know. I enjoy hearing from every single one of you. So again, thank you all very much for coming to watch me play this game, and until next time, thank you guys for watching. Bye guys.